virtual audience, welcome back to Techiexpert. I'm Alicia, and today I have an amazing personality with me whose name is Rasik. He's the co-founder of Get My Parking. And if we talk about his achievement, he has been appreciated by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and by our UK government. So Rasik, welcome to Techiexpert and thank you so much for your precious time.
Thank you so much, Manisha. Thanks for having me here.
So, firstly, I want you to explain to our audience what Get My Parking is.
Okay. So Get My Parking is actually a technology company which digitizes parking lots. So that end users, people can actually be able to find parking wherever they are going, and they can book parking, pay for it online. But not only on a particular one or two apps, but rather they can find parking even from their cars in car dashboard. They can use any other mobility app or transportation app and find parking as a feature inside that.
Okay, that's really amazing. So, what are the offerings your Get My Parking is providing to the public?
So the most important benefit is convenience. People save time and money in looking for parking. It's a really big problem for any car or two-wheeler driver in an urban area. So that's the most important offering to the consumers, to save their time and money to find parking. Other than that, of course, we are working with smart cities, with government also, so that citizens at large can have a lot of other benefits under the smart city umbrella.
Okay, that's really great. So, how does Get My Parking differentiate itself from other parking solutions?
So most of the parking solutions in the market, they are either they provide parking sensors only or some hardware. So they are mostly focused on hardware solutions. We are a software focused company only, and but that doesn't mean we don't have to work with hardware, because parking at the end of the day is a real estate, it's an infrastructure business. So obviously our technology software has to work with that hardware on the ground. So what is unique is that we have done IoT integrations, so that any hardware used in a parking lot, any boom barrier, any sensor, any parking equipment can be integrated and controlled by our software. Even if we are not the manufacturers, in fact, doesn't matter who the manufacturer is, be it some Chinese unbranded hardware or an American or a German premium product. It doesn't matter. Any hardware in the parking lot can be controlled and integrated with our software.
That's really unique. So, what are the marketing strategies are you using to reach your target audience?
So our marketing strategies is mostly digital only, because we live in a digital world. We believe digital is the key way to reach out and to our communication. Other than that, obviously we have channel partners. We have many other ways of getting customers on board. So for example, if you are working with some automotive company, so that automotive company will have their own users and customers to whom our parking feature can be communicated and marketed.
Okay, that's really amazing. So as a co-founder, what were the problems you faced in this pandemic, in this COVID-19, related to parking, like office parking things?
So obviously in the first few months, there was a lot of problem, because there was everything was stopped, lockdown, no one was going out. So obviously you can't really get any parking business going on at that time. But the thing is, for the first 6 months it was challenging, but after that, as lockdown opened up, unlock happened, and people started going out, though cautiously. It was actually in a very different way, unexpected way, good for our technology, for our business, because when people started going out again, they didn't want to use parking lots the way they are traditionally used to using them. Okay, normally in a parking lot, you have to touch a lot of things. You have to take a ticket, you have to give cash, you have to interact with someone. So it's, there's a manual interaction, which is unsafe given COVID and pandemic. So people really wanted our technology so that they can have touchless solution, they can have a completely digital solution, so that they don't have to pay any cash or use any of the tickets or anything.
This
Okay, so
will
that's the way we actually look at COVID. It was really difficult for us in the beginning, so it was a challenge as an entrepreneur. But towards the end, as things started improving, it actually became beneficial for our business. So a lot of parking lots around the world now want digital touchless solution.
That's really great. So I want to know how machine learning is helping in smart parking.
So machine learning is helping quite a lot because there are a lot of things which have not ever been done before in the parking industry. First of all, digitization itself is new to the industry, right? So once digitization happens, data starts flowing in. And once you have data, then only you can do data science, machine learning, AI, and all that. Thanks to our digitization strategy, which is using IoT, we are able to get a lot of data points flowing in. We are able to get a lot of, not only transaction data, but also data about, what kind of people use what kind of parking, what kind of point of interest are there around the parking, so retail point of areas, as well as there are a lot of, large scale patterns of how does the traffic move at a city level. So that tells you quite a lot. We have used machine learning for multiple product features in our offerings. So for example, dynamic pricing. So parking price can go up or down basis how empty the parking lot is, which is not necessarily bad for consumers, and consumers buy because we also let the prices go down. So normally you would have standard pricing, X rupees per hour for parking, right? But with dynamic pricing, you can get discounts also if the parking is empty. So you get a discount so that you can actually use that parking. And obviously, if parking is almost full, only few spaces are left, then the prices will go up definitely with dynamic pricing. But that way, it ensures that more people can bid for that remaining space than whoever just comes in and walks in first.
Right.
So that's just one example. If you want me to give a couple of more examples, I can.
Yeah, sure, you can.
So there are other examples wherein we use machine learning to do revenue predictions and utilization prediction. So how much will the parking be used tomorrow, next week, next month? So we look at trends and try to predict how parking might behave in the future, how a parking will be utilized, and how much revenue it can earn in the future. And we definitely not only stop at predicting it, but then we look at how can we improve it. So if we see that parking is going to be only half empty and half full next week on Wednesday, so you can use dynamic pricing to drive more customers in, give more discounts, or you can offer some promotions for that particular day only, so that you can attract more customers. So these revenue predictions and other machine learning techniques really help us. We also use machine learning for enforcement officers. So enforcement officers have to so enforcement officers' job is to find illegal parking and give challan. Normally enforcement officers are given a particular region that this particular block or area is yours, and you have to go to each and every parking lot as an officer to find illegal parking. It's a manual process, it's a tedious process, but there is no intelligence in it because you're just visiting one parking after another and hoping that if I find an illegal parking, I can give challan. And at the same time, there might be many other illegal parkings happening at some other parking lot in your area only, but as an officer, you may not be aware of it. So what we are doing is, now that we have all the data, we know where transactions are happening, we have real-time parking data and historical parking data. We are able to predict patterns as to where at what time more illegal parking can happen, might happen, and we try to give some route planning suggestions to these enforcement officers, so that if they have to choose between 10 different parking lots to go to, our technology tells them where exactly can they go in the next half an hour to find the most number of illegal parking.
That's really amazing and interesting at the same time. So I want to know what are the emerging trends in your industry? What do you think? What is the future of the parking?
So, a very big trend that's happening in our industry is that parking used to be only for vehicles to park, okay, because that's the definition of parking. But the parking industry is now changing in a way that we are looking at parking as a commercial real estate. And like any other commercial real estate, we are looking at what can we do more in this real estate. Okay, how can we increase revenues, diversify business opportunities? What more can you do in that same real estate, right? We believe parking is a very undervalued, underutilized real estate. So, which is why we have to look at how can we provide EV charging inside parking, so that you're adding more value-added services, and that thereby you are increasing the value of that real estate. You are diversifying the business opportunities for parking. So EV charging is one way that we are actually looking at. Then shared mobility, getting into long-term agreements with parking lots, so that parking lots can become pickup point and drop-off point for shared mobility. So if tomorrow you want to rent any car, rent any two-wheeler, any parking lot near your area might have a shared car or a shared two-wheeler available for you to rent. So that way shared mobility will become more accessible to more people if more parking lots become mobility hubs. Then we are looking at e-commerce and food delivery companies also integrating parking data, so that their drivers, whenever they need parking, they don't have to waste time, because delivery boys' time is very, very precious. So that they don't waste any time in finding parking. So parking data is directly integrated into their apps for the delivery boys.
Okay, that's really amazing. So what has so far surprised you in this industry?
A lot of things, definitely. One surprising big thing was that in recent times, cloud kitchens have started in parking lots. So as you or your viewers would be aware of, cloud kitchens are your basic food delivery kitchens, where your food gets prepared when you order online on apps like Swiggy or Zomato. Cloud kitchens don't need any dining area, because no one comes there to eat. It's only for online orders. Mm-hmm. So cloud kitchens don't need fancy places, and most of the cloud kitchens, that's why, are in internal gullies and roads, where the real estate is very cheap, right? So that they can save their rental cost, right? So what we have seen that has really surprised us is that some people have started putting food trucks inside parking lots, and those food trucks, it's a car, right? A food truck is a vehicle, right? So a vehicle can use a parking lot. So a food truck inside a parking lot getting used as a cloud kitchen, and delivery boys coming in and going out of the parking lot. So you may not even know it. But sometimes in the future, if you're ordering food from Swiggy, Zomato, or some other app, it's quite possible that food is getting prepared in a food truck in a parking lot.
Okay, we didn't knew about this. This is quite interesting. So thank you for telling us about that. So my last question to you is, what advice you would like to give to tech-savvy people out there, and to the younger generation who are just entering into the AI things?
So my advice would be that the technologies keep changing, the tools keep changing. You master any one tool very nicely, it doesn't matter, any new other tool comes, you can easily migrate and switch to it. What most of the engineers or data science people try to do is that they focus on only the programming language, on the statistical models, and on the tools. That's not what's going to cut it. That's not what's going to help you go really ahead in applying AI to real world problems. What's really going to help, from my experience, at least I can say so, is that you should have a very good understanding of the business problems, and you should have a very good understanding of how data gets captured at the ground level. Because a lot of times the source of the data itself can be erroneous, the source of the data itself can have a lot of problems, and if you don't have a very good understanding of that, doesn't matter how fancy your algorithms are, or your programming is, it doesn't matter. at the end of the day, the results will be also wrong or misleading, and you may not be even aware of it. That's the sad part. So that's why it's very important to look at the business first, understand the business, and understand how data gets captured, and rule out any wrong sources of data or incorrections or inaccuracies in that data.
Thank you for this precious advice. And few words for our techie expert.
Technology is ruling the world, so I will keep it short. I think you all are already great at following such technology sources. Unless and until you keep abreast and up to date with what's happening in the tech world, technology will keep eating the world, but will you be part of it?
Right. Yeah. So, audience, this is time to say goodbye to Rasik, and this video was very informative. I personally loved it, and I'm sure audience are going to love this interview because you have given us such information we didn't knew about. So thank you for your precious time, and audience, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share this video. So thank you so much.
Thanks.